students. This is Mr. Zacek, and here we are today looking at the standard form of equations. And here's the question that we are going to work to answer in today's lesson. How do we graph equations in standard form using the x and y intercepts? How do we graph equations in standard form using the x and y intercepts? So as we begin to look at this, let's just remind ourselves of the forms that we've already discussed. The first that we have here is slope-intercept form, and we want to recall that slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. And the slope in this case is represented by the letter m, and the intercept is the x-axis it's the y-axis intercept, and it's the point 0b, whatever that value of b is. And then after that, we did point slope form. And we want to remember that point slope form is y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity x minus x sub 1. And in that case, our point is the point x sub 1 comma y sub 1, and our slope is the letter m. So those are the two that we've looked at so far, and today what we're going to add is the third one, which is we want to graph the equation in standard form. And standard form is written as ax plus by equals c. And a, b, and c represent numbers. So we're going to take a look at one way to do that here today. So as we look at our first question, 3x plus y equals 5. Well, that's written in, this is standard form. So the method that we're going to use is to find the x-axis intercept and the y-axis intercept. And in order to do that, we need a little bit of understanding about what those represent. So if we look at our graph over here, we know that this horizontal axis is the x-axis, and the vertical axis is the y-axis. So I'm just going to take my highlighter here, and I'm going to highlight that this is the x-axis here in yellow, and let's do purple for the Golden Knights. This is the y-axis. Now, what you want to notice is that every point on the x-axis, any point that we plot on there, like for example, this point right here, okay? What are the coordinates of that point? Well, let's count over. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, but we're not going up any. 0. Or maybe I want this point here. And that's the point to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the point -4, comma 0. And this point here is the point 2, comma 0. Well, the thing that you want to see is what is in common is all of these have y values that are what? 0. So that's something that we want to keep in mind. So when we look to solve for the x-axis intercept, oops, wrong one there, the y value is going to equal 0. And let's look at just kind of erase that there. Let's look now at our other axes here, the y-axis. Let me highlight that again for you. Our y-axis here. And let's pick a few points that we have on the y-axis. Let's pick this point here and something that shows up a little bit better. Okay, so let's do that point and that point and that point. Let's label those. So the first one, I'm going left and right 0, and then I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's the point 0, 6. The one below it is up 3. So that's the point 0, 3. Now I'm going down 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the point down 0, comma -4. And what do we see in all of those points is we see that the x value is 0. And all of those, the x value is 0. See that right there? So when we have the y-axis intercept, so we're representing over here, when you have the y-axis intercept, the value of x is going to be 0. So we're going to use that information here to help us find the x-axis intercept and the y-axis intercept, and then we're going to plot those points and graph the line. So right away, let's look at our equation, but I need to make a change. I want to just change the numbers around here a little bit to make this work a little bit nicer. Let's change this equation to 3x plus y equals 6. All right, so to find the x-axis intercept, what we're going to do here is we're going to substitute y 0 in for y, because everywhere on the x-axis y is 0. So I'm going to plug that in. Okay, so 3x plus 0 equals 6. So therefore 3x equals 6. When we divide by 3, x equals 2. So identify the x-axis intercept. It's going to be the point 2, 0. So now I can plot that on my graph. Over 2, up 0. That's the x-axis intercept. Now let's find the y-axis intercept. The y-axis intercept, what's the value of x? It's 0. So we take our same equation, 3x plus y equals 6, and in place of x, I want to substitute 0. So now we're going to plug that in for x. 3 times 0 is 0, plus y equals 6. So therefore, y equals 6 when x is 0, which is the point 0, 6. So over here on our graph, we get the point 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got the point 0, 6, and the point 2, 0. Now, I only need 2 points to graph a line, so I've got the 2 points that I need. Now I'm going to use my straight edge, which you guys should have in front of you as you're doing this. Let me see if I can use one of our nice math tools here to get a straight edge. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, whoop. Alright. Not always that proficient at this, so let's see. Are we doing it? How are we doing? Alright, well, this is not working, so let's just get rid of that. You would use a straight edge. I'm going to use just this tool here, and we could extend that line over, and we want to put some arrows on it, and we want to label that equation 3x plus y equals 6. And now that we have the graph, we could answer some questions about this, like maybe we wanted to know what is the slope of this line. So the slope would equal the rise over the run. So let's see, what are we doing? We got this point here. We're going to go down and across. So we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going down 6 and to the right 2. So negative 6 over 2. And if we wanted to reduce that, that would be negative 3 or negative 3 over 1. So we can find, some of those answers from the line. But, let's just look back and review. What did we do first? We identified the x-axis intercept by substituting in y equals 0, and that gave us 2, x equals 2, so it was the point 2, 0. And then we identify the y-axis intercept. There we use x equals 0, and so when we substitute that in, we get y is 6, so we had the point 0, 6. use our straight edge, and graph the line. Okay, let's try another one here. Let's look at example number 2. I want to change this here just to make the numbers work a little bit better for us. Let's make this 9y plus 3x equals 27. Okay, and our goal here is to graph this. All right, so number 1 is we want to find the x-axis intercept. Now here's the understanding that we need to have for that. On the x-axis intercept, y equals 0. So what we're going to do to find that is we're going to substitute y equals 0. So in our equation, wherever you have a y, put a 0. Plus 3x equals 27. 9 times 0 is 0, plus 3x equals 27. Divide by 3, and x equals 9. So that means that we have as our x-axis intercept the point 9, 0. Let's go ahead and plot that on our graph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, there's the point 9, 0. This is our x-axis, and this is our y-axis. Now, we need more than one point to graph a line. We need a second point. So we need to find the y-axis intercept. So part 2, we want to find the y-axis intercept. Find the y-axis intercept. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to substitute zero in for x. X equals 0. So let me see our equation again here. It was 9y plus 3x equals 27. 9y plus 3x equals 27. And now where I have a x value, I'm going to substitute 0 in. So 9y plus 3 times 0 equals 27. So this becomes 9y plus 0 equals 27, or 9y equals 27. Now remember, the 9 and y, they're combined by multiplication, so our inverse operation is going to be division, and we're going to get y equals 3. And we need those 2 points to give us 0, 3. And let's make sure that when we graph that, it actually is on the y-axis. So I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to look at my graph. 1, 2, 3, 0, 3. It is on the y-axis. And now, using my straight edge, I'm going to graph this line. That's off a little bit, but I think you get what we're looking at. Oops. And we want to put some arrows on our line, and we want to label it with the original equation. So 9y plus 3x equals 27. Okay, now for question 3, again, I apologize for having to change these, but we're going to change this one to 4y minus 2x equals 16. And what I'd like you to do is push pause on this video, use your other examples, and work this question out and see, can you graph this using the y and x and the x-axis intercepts, and then we'll come back and see if you've got the right answer. So go ahead and push pause on yours, and we'll come back and take a look at what that answer is. I can get Okay, and we're back, and going to give you a chance here just to check yours. For your x-axis intercept, you should have the point -8, 0. For your y-axis intercept, it's 0, 4. We want to graph our line. We see that it has a positive slope, and then we're going to label. And pay attention to those little things like labeling. What I forgot to do here is put my x and y axes on. So you want to label your graph, you want to label your equation, you want to clearly show your work, and that's how we graph from standard form. So you've got 3 different examples that you can look at. Now the last one that we're going to look at here is graphing vertical and horizontal lines. And this is when the equation looks a little bit different. These are some special cases. And when you have x equal to a number, that is going to be a vertical line. Now remember, vertical are up and down. And when you have y equal a number, that is going to be a horizontal line. Remember, horizontal is left and right. So I like to do a little thing here that I will show you in 1 second. I like to do this thing called where I say, okay, I'll work on getting that in class here, but I'll show you where I just say x equals vertical, and I stick my arms up in the air, and then I do y equals horizontal, and we push those to the side. And another way that you can think about it is it has to cross the x-axis. So this one here crosses the x-axis at -3. This one here, let's use a different color just to distinguish that. This one crosses the y-axis at 5. All right, so let's deal with x first. X equals -3. Again, this is a vertical line. And let's look. Well, where is x -3? Well, x is -3 here. But x is -3 here, 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 -3 here. Everywhere on this line, x is equal to -3. So we have our vertical line. Let me get red as a color for my line. Okay, whoops, undo that. Let's see here again. Just want to get my line color of red. Okay, so again, using a straight edge, there we go. And we have our equation of x equals -3. Now for our horizontal example, we have y equals 5. Well, where does y equal 5? Where does it cross the y-axis at 5? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here is the value y is 5. But there the value is 5 for y. And all across this line, the value for y is 5. So you get your straight edge. I'll get my little tool here. Get us with a blue color. We're going to, whoa, there it did it again. We're going to draw our line at y equal to 5. That's where we're going to draw the line there. And you have ourselves a horizontal line. So we want to look out for special cases. Now, the one trick to this that always kind of messes people up that we need to be aware of, okay? So we'll call this error alert. And we mentioned it earlier. I don't know what I'm spelling there, but that's not alert. Error alert. Okay, there we go. When you have the line x equals 0. Now what did we just say? X equals 0 is a vertical line, but this is called the y-axis. And Conversely, when y equals 0, what did we just say y is? A horizontal. X equals vertical, y equals horizontal. That is the x-axis. So we want to be careful for those. So let's go and look at those on our graph. That this line here, the y-axis, the up and down one, is the line x equals 0, and across here the x-axis is y equals 0. So sometimes that can confuse students a little bit because we flip it around, but I think if you pay attention to your error alert, you will be there. I don't think there's two L's in alert, but we'll leave that there as it is. All right, let's ask questions, and good luck as you go through to do this here.